Yo, welcome back. We have another episode of the Ball Central podcast. It is myself. Elijah cannot be here today due to him getting injured in the basketball game. Hopefully, you heal up in time for next week. And we got a returning co-host, our boy. Oop, this way, Walid, aka 8ighth. How you doing?
I'm pretty good, man. How you doing?
Hey, pretty good. Glad to have you back on. It's been a while. I know life has been lifing right now for both of us, so glad to have you on talk some basketball and shit. Let's see. Okay. Let's see. Anything important you've been up to? Anything updates on since the last time you've been on?
Nah, not really. Just been stressed, but I'm here.
Oof, that makes it both of us. But bright side, our gaming channel is at 70 subs, and then our podcast channel is at 100. So I'd like to thank you personally for the advice you've given me for social media, and a lot of our success wouldn't be without you as well. So I just wanted to be on air to thank you. So thank you for the advice. Appreciate it.
Appreciate you too, bro.
And our TikTok count's like at 270. So, and especially with the TikTok stuff, you know, you with your expertise, I took some of your advice you gave to me like a while ago, and it hasn't been, that little success since then. So I just want to thank you as well. So shout out to you, man. Okay,
Appreciate it, buddy.
okay, we got some NBA stuff to talk about. We're just gonna go through some of the series that's already passed and just get our thoughts about it. Nuggets, Wolves. Any strong opinions or thoughts about the series as a whole?
I mean, it was never really going to be a series. The only reason why I even got one past one game was Anthony Edwards. I think that his tenacity is going to be really good. I don't think it should be for the Timberwolves. I think it should be for a separate organization that probably needs it a little bit more. I think that Gobert is a lackluster perimeter defender, which is not the worst thing in the world. It's not the only person, right? There's Sabonis, there's Mitchell Robinson. There's a lot of people. But for what he brings to the table, I just think that in a game where things are a lot more space now, that it's a little bit more difficult for his defense to really be appreciated in the same light that it was before. He has no offensive game. He has no post game. He has not much to really work with besides his defense, which is extraordinary. I'm not taking it away from him, but
Yep, the interior defense.
it's
That's
not
it.
good enough to win a playoff series. I think Cat is an amazing shooter who's a little bit soft on the post defense area, and it's always exploited in the playoffs where he's getting 5, 6 fouls because he can't defend the bigger defenders, right? Like if they were to face the Lakers, Anthony Davis would have a field day with him, like he always does, right? Whether it's Anthony Davis making him draw 6 fouls a foul now, or Anthony Davis just dropping 35 on him, it's either or, right? So you have two bigs that aren't the recipe for winning a championship. I think Cat with a better big man would roll really well, but in terms of what they have now, it wasn't going to be that great. And
Right.
Kyle Anderson, obviously, a really key piece that people sleep on. When you look at Mike Conley, you look at all the pieces that they have together, right? It was enough to make maybe out the first round, but not against the Nuggets. The Nuggets are a deep team with Jokic and Jamal Murray having quite possibly the best pick and roll in the league because they can interchangeably the pick and rolls. You have Michael Porter Jr., the Swiss Army knife, obviously. You have Bruce Brown, a breakout star versus the Nets. They had no chance. So, in all honesty, there's not much that they could have really done in terms of that, but
Right.
they tried.
So do we think this is officially Ant's team and maybe not Cat's not the go-to
It's always
guy
been Ant's team,
anymore?
right? It's never been. It's nobody else's team. It was never Rudy Gobert's team.
No.
It was never anybody else's, and that's no disrespect to Rudy Gobert. He's never a franchise player, right? It's not a disrespectful thing to say. It's the kind of the truth. They want to build around Anthony Edwards, and why wouldn't they? It's a breakout star who's they can keep him and build around him. Could be a crazy, crazy piece in a couple of years. He has the right mindset, the right work ethic. They just need a couple of more pieces around him. Keep some
Yeah.
veteran presence, right? I think they keep Ryan Anderson. I think they keep is it Mike Conley on the team? I think it is.
Yeah, Conley. Yeah, point guard.
They keep Conley. And I think they keep
McDaniels got
veteran
hurt as well.
pieces,
So
which is a huge thing. A huge hurt to them. But
right.
um, did they get who got rid of Vanderbilt? Was it the Timberwolves?
It is. Yeah.
That was insanity. They should have never did that. But anyways,
And
that's none
Beasley.
of my business.
Yeah. Yeah.
Beasley kind of just has fizzled out on the Lakers, which is really unfortunate. But that's just the luck of the
Yeah.
draw when you come around LeBron James. But
Yep. Next one. Sixers and Nets. I'm surprised this was actually a sweep. I thought Macau and Cam would get at least one off of Embiid, but hey, it's a classic sweep for the Sixers. I mean, not much to go off of here. I mean, the better team won, obviously, but I just thought, with the way the season that Macau had, I thought he'd get at least one off on the Nets. So, what do you think?
I mean, what did you really? I like Mikal, but
Maybe like a
Mikal
one home
is
game, maybe.
he can break out. He showed, which I never thought he could break out to be a star for sure, right? But you have a team that really lacks defense all across the board, besides Claxton. Um, that didn't really have much time to really mesh for this last like little segue. I mean, into the playoffs. You have a tumultuous season with a new roster against an experienced, hungry playoff team, right? Joel has experience in the playoffs. Tobias has experience in the playoffs. James Harden has experience in the playoffs. Yes, Mikal has this experience in the playoffs too, but not as the first option. He's never been a first option, on the Suns. And now that he was the first option, this was his first experience to be like, hey, this is my team and this is what I can do. But I think that it was a good first experience, right? It was against a really good team, on a team that for him hasn't fully been assembled or prepared for a playoff run. So when he gets a team or he gets prepared for a full playoff run and he's still the number one option if he is that, then I think he'll be better equipped for that when time comes.
Yeah.
But that wasn't
Right.
the sweep wasn't surprising to me.
Yeah. Gotcha. Next one of my favorite series of the East Conference, Celtics Hawks. I thought the Celtics played around with the Hawks too much. It should have been a sweep, or at least 5 games. But I think that game, what, five, they let that slip away, and then the Hawks obviously won that one, and it ended in Atlanta. But uh, what do we like? What do you think about the future for Atlanta? Do we feel like the Dejounte Murray move, or does some pieces need to be moved to make the team better?
I don't mind DeJounte Murray. I think it was a good move. I do think that the Hawks have potential in terms of what they could do in the future. I think Trey Young showed that he can perform in the playoffs in big moments, which is huge because that was a question
Yep.
mark for a little bit. Um, and I honestly thought that if the Hawks won that last game, they would have won the series, which is crazy to think. But I think a lot of the Celtics got exposed for inconsistency sometimes.
Yeah.
It's one of the biggest issues for the Celtics. It's never really been like a in the playoffs, it's never been like a straight road of just consistent damage that they can output, in my personal opinion. Maybe it's just a person who hasn't watched the Celtics as much, but when it comes to, getting the job done, sometimes they'll show flashes of it right against the Nets last year without Kate was it I think Katie was injured, so without Katie against certain teams. But I think that they almost lost to the Heat last year, was it?
Which
I think it was the Heat.
they went to 7 games with Milwaukee and Miami.
Yeah. Oh, so that was Miami. That was Miami and Boston. All right. So, I thought it was Celtics face in the semis then, but
In the semis, I think it was
um,
Milwaukee.
the Celtics.
Yeah, you said who they faced in the
So
semis
the Celtics
last year, right?
face because I'm talking about the Heat game seven shot by Jimmy. That wasn't against the Celtics.
Oh, that was conference finals. I think it's Celtics. Yeah,
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. So
yeah, okay,
when it
yeah,
came down to the conference finals last year against the Heat, you could see the breakdowns in key moments where they should have won the game already, where the game should have already been over. And that's
yeah,
something that, closeouts are extremely important in the playoffs because at any given moment, teams can break down. We've seen it multiple times even this year with like the Suns versus the Clippers, where the Clippers are down 18 with like 7, 8 minutes left in the fourth, and they go on a 16-2 run and almost win the game, right? Unfortunately, that's not how the cards played out. But being able to close is one of the big things that matter. And that's what the Warriors show with the Kings recently, right? Which we're not talking about now, but it's essentially can you close? And what can you do under that pressure? And that's why Steph Curry is one of the greatest of all time because he can close at any given point, and people don't give him credit for that. But
yeah. It was the one thing about the Celtics, but the last 2 years, maybe 3 years, is their late game situation play, and that's been it showed in the finals, it showed in the playoffs last year, even showed against the Hawks. This is something if they want to win a championship, it's something they have to get together. Whether it's Brown, Tatum, or everyone else, they just have to make sure they know how to close out games, or else they extend the series like the Hawks. It should have happened. So. Hey, we'll see against the Sixers. Next one. A lot of people was watching had their eyes on the series a lot. Grizzlies versus Lakers. Dylan Brooks, obviously, taunting LeBron, etc., etc. What are your thoughts about this series? How it ended?
I think that without Steven Adams, they were bound to fall, right? I think Jaren Jackson, obviously, as a defensive player of the year, can play good defense,
Yeah,
but offensively, without another big on the floor, is questionable sometimes. As the only big, he's always been a little bit questionable. Great shooter, but if you're spacing out the floor, you're giving room for no offensive rebounds. You're giving room for the Lakers to grab the boards and we're going a fast break. And I think that the Lakers' experience in the playoffs just really showed because once they put, the motor on, the Grizzlies didn't really have much to show for it, right? Ja got exposed for not having a consistent jumper. They were crowding the paint every time he came down there. He had nothing he could do. They were walling off. Great defense down there. Obviously, Dylan Brooks not the best shooter. Desmond Bain being a little bit off was a huge part. I don't think Kennard even played in that game. I think he was still injured with a shoulder
yeah,
injury,
he's
if I'm not
missing. He
mistaken.
missed a couple amount of games.
So not having Steven Adams, not having I forget his name. So forgive me, I'm not like the biggest Grizzlies fan. Um
Tillman.
uh no. Tillman was going crazy. Crazy
Oh,
on the boards. Shout out to him. Shout out to him. Definitely deserves some love. Um
Tillman
he's gonna
was
be
not
running what
playing, or
game six anyways. Oh, game five. But yeah, he got injured with the person that got injured with a ACL injury, was it? It was
oh, Brandon Clark.
Brandon Clark, yeah, Achilles, I think it was Achilles.
Yeah,
But those pieces were huge. And Steve Adams was always a huge piece, right? He was fundamental in the pick and roll and the Thunder. And when he came over to the Grizzlies, it was the same exact thing. Why? Because John Moran is a little bit more of a more dynamic, more fluid Russell Westbrook. I'm not gonna say more dynamic. I would say he's more
I would
graceful in the
definitely.
air
Yeah,
because Ja just likes to hang out, just hang in the
yep.
air for ridiculous amounts of time. It's Jordan-esque in my personal opinion. It's crazy, but uh, without that big body there to help him on the pick and rolls and to separate, he really struggled because Jaren Jackson is a big body, but not big enough. Adams is a solid dude, right? And he's a really great offensive boarder. He's always been a really great offensive boarder. Not having Adams there and letting JJJ work out from the corner, not having Adams there for the big body, for the it really because honestly with Adams they could win. Steve, uh, Anthony Davis is really bothered by big centers. It's always been a big issue for him. That's why he doesn't like playing center. He's always been bothered by big centers. But in this situation, Jaren Jackson is not the big center he's worried about. He's going to bully that man, right? And if he's not going to bully that man, he's going to bully him on the boards at the very least. So, and that's exactly what happened. Anthony Davis went crazy. He was affecting the floor on all aspects, and there's not much they could have done unless Ja had some miraculous 40-point games back to back with really good
Yeah,
jumpers. Without having Kennard, without having Adams, without having Clark, they were doomed for failure. It was just LeBron, man. What are you gonna do
yeah.
about that? LeBron,
Do you think? Do you think John needs to change up his game because all the reckless driving and his jump shot? Make sure he
I,
plays
I
more years in the
mean,
league.
he definitely needs to be careful, but I think the only thing he needs to work on is just having a better jump shot. If he gets a jump shot down, he can be a top five player easily in the league. Easily,
Yeah,
easily.
'cause
Like
I
not
see
even
some
not even
crazy ass drives hitting like doing like backflips in midair. It's crazy.
he just gets flung around sometimes when he's in the air. He's just reckless, but he's also not afraid to attack the rim, man. That's something that a lot of
Yeah,
people don't give him enough credit for. Just being able to just attack consistently,
he's
regardless
fearless.
of who's down there. He's gonna be a beast if he can stay healthy and develop a jumper. It's gonna be scary, man. But
Next one up. Suns versus Clippers. This one ended in five. I know this was a very important series to you with Kevin Durant and Russell Westbrook being involved. What are your thoughts on this one?
everybody disrespected my boy Russ, and he was easily the best defender on the floor for like 4 of those 5 games. Easily, right? Devin Booker
All
was
right.
a close second. You could argue Chris Paul was up there with the defense. You can argue, but Russ was out there being a menace. That was the best defense I've seen on KD in a long time. If I'm being honest with you, best defense I've seen. Yes, Devin Booker went to work and got 40-point games because he can only defend so many people. But look at game two, or was it game one? The important. Yeah, it was game one. The important block off of Devin Booker.
Yep.
And then the roll off. You see like the pokes, you see the help defense he brings, you see the chase down blocks, et cetera, et cetera. I think the Suns got exposed a lot in the Clippers game, even though they won. In terms of they were losing to a team with just Russell Westbrook, Norman Powell, Zubac, Mason
Terrence Mann.
Plumlee, Terrence Mann. Like they had no superstars out. All the superstars are gone, and they're barely winning these games with two superstars playing almost the entirety of all the games. You know, like Devin Booker had to drop 40 points multiple times to win that series, right?
Right.
And when we look at that, it's exactly why they're failing against the Nets, right? You know, you can barely hold your own against a team that's only half there. You know, that's I think that the Clippers had a chance to win. I think Russ got really gassed in the last game and some questionable decision making, of course, you know.
Right.
I think got into his head a little bit, you know, with like the missed open layups and stuff like that. But it was definitely a winnable series. And even if they did win, was Kawhi gonna come back with the news we have now about his torn MCL, I think it was Paul George gonna make it back in time? And more importantly, we're
Yeah.
gonna beat the Nuggets without it's just those questions are things that I just can't answer. You know,
Yeah.
I thought it was a decent series, one of the more fun series I've seen, even though it hurt my heart a lot. But
Right.
also,
Yeah.
most importantly, showed that Russell Westbrook is still an amazing point guard, still an amazing player, and still deserves to be in this league
He just
because
has that pieces around
NBA
him,
Twitter likes to
like the Lakers.
snowball really bad takes, um,
That's
and
true.
dictate who belongs in the league and who doesn't. And it's kind of why I really hate how social media influences the NBA currently. But that's not
Right.
a point of conversation here.
Do you think it's time to break up the Paul George and Kawhi Leonard duo?
No. What are you gonna do? You got a new arena opening up, 24, 25. You're gonna trade away your two biggest stars, your two biggest focal points for bringing
You
people
think
in.
trade one of
Russell
one of them?
Westbrook will bring people in, but not like he used to. Hmm?
You think maybe trade one of them?
That's for what? Who you
Um,
gonna trade Kawhi for? Who you gonna trade
Good
Paul George
question.
for?
Yeah, because
And if you
I
trade
don't
Paul
know how long
George,
this
why would Kawhi
championship window
stay?
has.
You trade Paul
Yeah.
George, Kawhi leaves. Kawhi came because of Paul George. He asked for Paul George. Paul George came. He came to the Clippers. You get rid of Paul George. Kawhi, with the scrutiny of the fans, the scrutiny of the media as being a Clipper, he has no reason to stay anymore. He leaves. And then what? Then you have nothing. You're not going to
Yeah.
re sign Russell Westbrook if you're not going to keep Kawhi and Paul George because you're not going to build around Russell and everybody else. He could be a veteran presence, but that means you're not going for a playoff run. And Russell is in the point of his career where he wants to go for a playoff run. You want to go for a
Yep.
playoff run, you re sign Paul, you re sign Kawhi, you pray they stay healthy. You give up the load management because you have to focus on the regular season. You have to focus on regular season. That's what they did. They load managed all season for a poor regular season that Clipper fans have desperately watched go into flames. You know, I think you re-sign both of them, get rid of load management. You re-sign Russ, because he obviously gave life to that team. He's
Yep.
35, 34, and he's outrunning most of your team down on like if you look at some of the turnovers he has, it's because he's going faster than everybody else. Nobody's running with him. I'm not saying sometimes it's decision making, but you know, like people can't keep up with his speed, and they're younger than him. Some of them, you know, and it's like things like that. You know, having a whole year to get teams to get acclimated with his speed, acclimated with his game. You know, I think a lot of like drop passes from like Zubac and like Plumlee on like dimes. He's always done the Steven Adams, like the quick drop off or the quick up. You know, just being ready, like having that time to match and have a chemistry over 82 games in the regular season, and having a healthy Kawhi and Paul George can lead to a chip, in my personal opinion. I think it could be done. You
Yeah.
know.
Because this team is
Um,
deep. The only problem has been health. Like this team
and
has a
playing not
chance.
playing Roku. I don't know. They're not playing Robert Covington. It's a tragedy.
I forgot he was
I'm,
on the
I'm
team.
taking Robert
Yeah.
Covington over Marcus Morris every day of the week. No disrespect to Marcus. I don't
Nicholas
care.
Batum as
Every
well.
day of the week. Every day of the week. Batum is
Yeah.
arguable because Batum has really good defense.
He said, "Why
Marcus
is
Morris
Batum
is
in the fourth
not.
quarter?"
Every day of the week, bro. Every day of the week.
Yeah. I
You're
don't.
not gonna put out Marcus Morris and Eric Gordon at the same time. Pick one liability.
I completely forgot that Rocco was on the team. He's a good 3-and-D player. They should play him more.
They brought him in for one game. He shot 7 for 7, bro.
Yeah.
They barely play this man, barely give him any time. Either get rid of him or keep him and actually utilize him. He's good. But
Right.
whatever.
This team has potential. You just got to know how to use it right and for them to be healthy. So next one, Knicks and Cavs. How disappointed are we in the Cavaliers this year?
Not at all. I mean, Donovan Mitchell has a lot to prove in the playoffs still. He was proving it for a little bit, but then it just never got together. He had a Evan Mobley and a Jared Allen who were completely helpless against Mitchell Robinson.
Yeah, they were going
They
crazy.
had
People
a
were crazy on them.
they had a
Garland struggled
Darius
too.
Garland who just never showed up for some odd reason, who got taken out in the last key minutes of the final game, which surprised me, but just showed what kind of liability he probably was. Um, Donovan fell short. The team Karis LeVert is obviously just like a bench player. Which I don't. I honestly think he could be a starter on like a lot of teams. We saw it in the Nets how good he was until KD came and he had to take back his role and stuff. But,
Yeah.
um, Karis did his thing for like I think a game or two. I didn't follow the series too closely, but I'm a huge Jalen Brunson fan, so I knew Jalen was going to give him the work, give
He
him the
did.
business,
Oof.
and that's
Every
exactly what he
single game.
did. And then RJ Barrett really sealing the deal in the final game, I think it was, or the
I think
game
the last two
before, with
games,
like
he scored like 20
the
plus in like the last 3 games.
waking up finally. Because I'm not an RJ Barrett fan personally, but that's just me. That's just
Yeah,
I do think that if you're gonna say like what did he say in the interview about being like something about something was a cocky answer for like being on the Knicks, like something about being the best. Or I don't remember what it was. Maybe he was like the best rookie of the year. I can't remember what it was, but I just think he just needs to live up to that type a little bit more. He definitely showed that. He definitely proved me wrong and showed me he's about his business, and I wish he did that a lot more. But
yeah,
that's, I'm not an NBA player, so who the fuck am I to criticize anybody? But
right. Yeah, this without Randall.
um,
Like I think Randall had like under 15 or like double single digits in most of the games, and Randall didn't even go off the series. They still won.
I've been saying it since he got there, not on the podcast, obviously, because I'm not usually on here, but
Yep.
I've been saying it to all my friends who are huge Knicks fans. Jalen Brunson is the answer. Everybody said Jalen Brunson is overpaid. Jalen Brunson is what you needed. Jalen Brunson has brought everything you wanted to the team, and he has led the Knicks throughout the season, throughout the playoffs. He's the most consistent player you have on your team. You cannot ever sleep on Jalen Brunson. You should have saw what he did alongside Luka Doncic on the Mavs. Why the Mavs
Yep.
ever let him go, I will never understand
They're
it.
missing him
But
now.
for sure.
Yeah.
But
What do we need to do to fix the Cavs for next season?
uh, they're young. You give them 2 more years, nothing happens. You break it
Experience.
up. But
Yeah.
they're young. They're all super young. I think Evan Mobley learned what his game needs in order to face somebody as big as Mitchell Robinson. Mitchell Robinson was locking them up, bro.
He got like
Evan
him and
Mobley,
Hart
Jared
out
Allen
rebounding them like
were
crazy.
doing nothing.
Josh Hart too on rebounds.
Nothing.
Oof,
Shout out to Josh Hart, man. That's the homie.
he was clutch. The next one. This one is probably one of the most shocking series we had this year. Bucks versus Heat. Giannis got hurt for 2 games. He came back, but then he finished him off in 5. Jimmy Butler.
Playoff
Oof.
Jimmy Butler, bro.
Jimmy Butler.
Playoff Jimmy. If I had to make a list off the top of my head, this is not a definitive list. I can think about this one day and be like, "Yo, I was wild." But I had to make a list of the greatest playoff performers we've seen in the past 10 or so years. Right? I'm going obviously LeBron James, obviously Stephen Curry.
Yep.
Um, when you look at Kevin Durant, obviously. And the fourth and fifth spot can always be argued with so many people. Giannis Antetokounmpo, right? Kawhi Leonard. But the person I'm putting in that top five somewhere is Jimmy. Like
That
Jimmy
man
has been
carries.
consistent. His jump from regular season to playoffs has been consistent every single year. He showed up every single year, every time he's in the playoffs. Bro, if he hits that shot against the Celtics in that game,
It's
what
over. Yeah.
happens?
Yeah.
The Suns not beating
Finals.
that team. I mean, the Suns,
The Warriors.
the Warriors, they're gonna have trouble with the team. Sorry, I said not beating the team. They're gonna have trouble with the team because Jimmy's a dog. I mean, it would be fun to see Jimmy versus Draymond though. That would be fun because he probably put Draymond and two dogs going at it. That'd be really interesting. But
Be very
you
aggressive.
know,
Yeah.
Jimmy is just such a dog. Like there's nobody built like him. Like not a single person. Like
Someone
Draymond's a
said.
dog, but it's not the same.
Someone said online, I think on Twitter, is like we haven't seen anyone cut from the same cloth from Kobe Bryant as if with Jimmy Butler.
Look at the stories. Jimmy went into a Timberwolves practice and beat him with
Yeah,
the
Jeff
G
Teague said
League
that
team.
story. Yeah, I saw
like
that.
with
That's
the G
hilarious.
League team, and then dipped. Bro, he called Cat soft.
He did an interview with Rachel Nichols right
And
after.
what did he do about it? He called Andrew Wiggins a weak defender. He called him so. He felt like he wasn't disciplined on defense. And look at Andrew Wiggins now, a great defender. Something that Jimmy always wanted from him. Look at Jimmy exposed. He was down against uh the Bucks. He went to Drew Holiday, the best perimeter defender in the league. Minus might be Marcus Smart,
He
and
said, "I'm gonna
told
cook
him,
you."
"I own you. I own you, bro. Like, what do you? He's down. He's losing. Come on, bro. Comes into your spot and then just walls. Come on, bro. Like nobody's
Other
doing it
games
like
is
this.
crazy. Yeah. How do you feel
Jimmy
about?
wakes up
Yeah.
and goes crazy.
Yeah. How do you feel about Giannis' speech after the series loss about the
I
whole
agree and disagree
success?
because it was a failure, but I understand that he was also a little bit upset, visibly upset, and like people take things out of context in terms of what he meant. Like I don't think he meant that them losing was not a failure. I think he meant that the entire season being a failure is a little bit of a stretch. But was it a failure in the playoffs? Yes, 100%.
Yes.
Even though he was injured and stuff like that, that was a really bad breakdown overall. You guys are the number one seed, losing to a
Yes.
playing team. You had so much potential and losing in five, at a not even set five. Like that's rough. Y'all's getting cooked. Tyler Hero's not even in there. A broken hand. Duncan Robinson
Yep.
getting guarded. It's not like save his life. Still getting cooked. Like there's a lot of things that's there. Getting guarded by Kyle Lowry, who's what 35, 36,
Yeah, he old. He's probably that
barely
age.
there. With an injury during the series. Getting cooked by pretty much just Jimmy Butler, Gabe Vincent, Max Strus, Bam. Like what can you really say?
Rough.
In all
Yeah.
honesty, um. So yeah, it was just unfortunate, but I am happy to see the Miami win. I do want the Knicks to win, by the way. I do want the Knicks to win, but somebody bet me $100 who's going to win between Miami Heat and the Knicks, and I said Miami because there's just no answer for Jimmy. There's just no answer
Except
for Jimmy.
for
They put Josh Hart on him. It doesn't matter, bro. It doesn't matter, bro. It doesn't matter. He's done it against the best defenders in the league. He's going to continue to do it. Jimmy
absolutely.
is him. And if the
And
Knicks lose this next game, they might get swept. Just
yeah,
saying. But
yeah. Okay.
anyways.
Next one. This series just wrapped up today. 50-point Mc 50-point McNugget piece from Steph Curry. Warriors win in 7. What a series this was. Oof. And also, a lot of people are bringing up again the whole Magic and Steph conversation again after this performance. I think this is the most points
If
in
if
a
Steph
game
can
seven
win this
ever.
ring, bro. If Steph wins this ring, he might be the greatest point guard of all time. Like,
It's
I'm not.
definitely
I don't.
possible. It's a good
It's always
argument
going
to
to be
have.
a debate. But before, it was such a far apart debate because you got to remember Magic Johnson had retired early because of illness. Magic Johnson came in as a rookie and was doing so many things, playing 1 through 5, won a championship. Like I'm pretty sure you won a championship in rookie year, right? Am I going crazy? Well, I'm going to relook into that because my basketball
Yep.
history is not as strong as everybody else's. But I'm pretty sure he won a championship with them rookie year. If not, he definitely played 1 through 5 and definitely was dropping some of his best playoff performances in the rookie year. Like it's just he came in built for this shit. The
Right.
greatest passer of all time. Like I love LeBron's passing, but what Magic did with the ball is I don't know if we're gonna
Showtime.
see that again. I don't know if like LeBron was the closest because he's tall and he can pass like that, but like Magic was just different, bro. Um, and what Magic was able to do with the Lakers, the significance of the Lakers, being on the Mount Rushmore more of Lakers and the championships, the fame, what he did to the notoriety of the NBA, etc. Like looking at all of those things, like Steph is not that far off in terms of what he's made the impact with, right? He's popularized the deep three ball to the point where kids in high school are doing it, middle
Hey,
school
yo,
are
Curry.
practicing it, shoot it from the parking lot, right? The influence he had, the tenacity in the playoffs, in which people keep discrediting him. But even without KD, the game 6 against the Celtics, one of the greatest playoff performances ever, realistically. And he told him to ring him in TD Garden. And he has 4 rings now. If he gets a 5th ring, in the year where people really thought he wasn't going to win, in the year where Poole and Draymond Green were caught on camera having a fallout because Draymond Green punched the shit out of him. Andrew Wiggins was out for weeks. Klay Thompson hasn't been himself. Like all of these factors, and he can still win.
And one of the worst road teams in the league as well.
What do you do? One of the worst road teams in the. What do you do? What do you do? The team that was not supposed to make anything happen. And it really came down to experience when it came to the Warriors and the Kings. I think De'Aaron is an amazing player. He finally got his chance to shine. He took it. He ran with it. Malik Monk is a slept-on player. The Lakers shouldn't have got rid of him. Amazing, amazing. He can go for 50 at any point. He gave 50 to the Clippers. I was watching that game. One of the best regular season games ever. Just airing out. Once he gets hot, there's no stopping him. One of the best finishing layup packages in the game, in my personal opinion. You gotta watch. You gotta watch him slash to the rim. Watch how he finishes. People sleep on that shit so much. He's so good.
Also, Sabonis is getting bullied by Looney in that game, though.
Sabonis got exposed, and I was never a huge Sabonis fan, but that's just my personal opinion. Doesn't mean he's not an amazing player.
And 16 points first half, 0 points second half. Oof.
At the end of the day, he unfortunately just showed who's the better player. Steph Curry's been here for years. The better experience really matters, right? And shout out, most importantly, the MVP wasn't just Steph Curry. It's also Kevon Looney. Like Looney, Steve Kerr has always been high on Looney, but look at what Looney's been doing. Draymond Green taking a step back for Looney. Looney, 21 boards today? Yep. Other games, 17. Like
he's boards the last 5 games.
Boards and defense wins championships. And Looney's been outside. He has been outside. He is the more fleshed out Mitchell Robinson. Like he is outside.
Those second chance points really help.
Shout out to Looney, man. He deserves his flowers. All I know is I don't think the Lakers are beating the Warriors personally. You can say they are. I think Russell's gonna get cooked off rip. Wiggins is gonna be on probably LeBron. He put Draymond on Anthony Davis. It could get ugly. It could get close to Game 7, but I don't see this Lakers team beating the Warriors. Yeah, they're probably gonna put Vanderbilt actually on Curry, but
what would you say for a prediction of the series?
Warriors in 6.
I see that. I think the Lakers could give them a run though, just because Anthony Davis.
Actually, Warriors in 5 maybe because they have home court advantage, right?
Yep. Lakers are the 7th seed. Warriors are the 6th seed. Yeah.
Yeah, I think Curry after that last game got his rush. The only reason he'll go to 7 is because he might be a little bit tired, but he's the most conditioned player in the league. If anybody can keep it going, it's him. Nobody's more conditioned than that man. No, not a soul, not a single player. The closest is LeBron because he trains that much, but even so, just no.
I think the Lakers. Yeah, I think the Lakers might be able to get them a run just with the defense. The defense has been very more improved ever since the trade deadline. I think Vanderbilt's going to be a huge key, like you said. They've got to, I'm not going to say shut down Steph because that's not possible, but at least weather the storm with Steph and let everyone else beat you because Poole was as consistent during the series. Klay has shown signs, but not 100% there. Draymond has been back and forth as well. I think Anthony Davis is going to need to have a show against Looney and others if the Lakers want to have a chance against this Warriors team. So it has to be the
Poole wakes up, the series is over. That's what I'm going to say. Poole wakes up, series is over. I don't want to hear nothing. If Poole has 3 great games, the series is over in 5. It's not. I'm telling you.
Okay, next up. This game happened last night. Jamal Murray had an absolute banger of a game. Reminded us of Bubble Murray. So, Denver and Phoenix. Man. How you feeling?
I was watching that game live. Yeah, I turned that shit off at 5 minutes when they was up by 25. I told you, like I said earlier, the Clippers exposed the Suns for not being able to for not having enough firepower to really contend with that kind of look at what the Clippers did with no superstars, keeping it close. The Nuggets have so much depth. Jokic wasn't even shooting that well for a little while. So much depth, right? Jokic just getting board after board after board. Jamal Murray being to his normal self of just shot creating. People forgot what Jamal Murray was doing before the bubble. Fuck the bubble, before the bubble, right? Before the injury, right? You know, like people forget Michael Porter Jr. was supposed to be like the next KD, right? But that's what they said about
Aaron
Aaron too.
Gordon had a
You know,
game
that's just
too.
like Aaron Gordon turning up, not missing
100% the
shots.
first half.
Bruce Brown, a really bad loss from the Nets because that man has turned
Yep.
into a tremendous player, picking
He's a great hustle player.
pockets, shooting the lights out, driving, kicking. Like, come on, man. Like, what did like the Nuggets? And what's his name? Brown, Braun, I think it is. Been
Christian?
playing great defense. Christian Brown playing great defense.
Oh, yeah.
You got
Braun. Yeah.
Contavious Caldwell Pope who could turn up at any point, shooting well, which he did.
I completely forgot Reggie Jackson's on this team.
Reggie doesn't
Completely
really. I
forgot.
mean, yeah.
Yeah.
I
He's
didn't
selling
really
himself now.
watch. I think I missed the bench moments a lot because I was multitasking. But
I don't think he even played,
you
to
know,
be honest.
like look at Jokic getting like 3, 4 offensive rebounds back to back in certain moments against Aiden. You see Aiden underneath the basket watching him get the rebounds and not even doing much about it. You know, just looking helpless.
Yeah, I saw
Aiden
that.
got to be
Yeah.
stronger. If I'm Aiden, I'm going at Jokic all day. Like, don't be scared all day because you got big stars around that's gonna take care of it. You know, you got KD that's gonna turn up. You got Booker's gonna turn up. You see Chris Paul's championship experience is gonna show up. Okogie's a great piece that they have alongside him. Damian Lee's a great piece that they have alongside him. Shannon. It's just that collectively, they all got to be on point at every single moment in order for them to win. And sometimes you see the Suns break down a lot in defensive moments. You know, the pick and roll was killing them with Jamal Murray and Jokic, and then once Murray started isolating, what you gonna do?
Yeah. You think the
Like
Cam
what you gonna
Johnson
like?
and Mikal
Murray's just
Bridges?
he's disgusting.
Yeah,
Yeah,
do you
without
think?
Mikal,
Yeah. You think that trade was huge for them
that was a
defensive
huge
wise?
piece.
Yeah,
They
Mikal
needed
and
that
Cam
piece, bro.
defensively. Yeah.
You know, and then now it's just rough for them. But they'll probably win the next game.
Yeah. What
If
you
not the
think?
next game, they'll win game 3. But
Prediction
probably
wise, what you
I
got?
would see Nuggets in 5.
I'm saying
The
that's a
only
6.
reason why I kind of want the Suns to win because I like KD. You know, I'm a KD fan, but it's just
Yep.
besides that, bro. I wouldn't mind them getting stomped in 4. Like it really wouldn't make me lose any sleep at night.
Me too. I feel the same way, but I feel like Nuggets in 6. I think they at least get. I think Suns get at least 2 home games, but I think Denver obviously wins out the series just
But
because off that
can
first
the
game.
Nuggets finally make a finals run? Though, is the question. When was the last time the Nuggets were in the finals?
Probably since Kobe. Probably since Melo, yeah, was on the team.
They didn't go to
That's
the finals though.
the conference finals. Oh, I thought you meant like the conference
The
finals.
finals.
Oh, probably 80s or 70s or maybe 90s. I doubt it.
Maybe they never even did. I had to look into it, but
Yeah, I think
early
the
Leo
farthest
Monday,
that
Jokic.
I mean, out of my knowledge, the furthest they got was the conference finals against Kobe and the Lakers. That's the last time I recognized it. So
All I know is we can't have the Warriors hit the finals. The Warriors go to the finals and win another championship. Steph's not losing. He's just not doing it, bro. If he gets
same.
there after all the scrutiny, Steph could retire after that if he really wanted to. Like it's like what else
He's
you
already a
have
first
to
ballot Hall of
prove?
Famer.
You have
Yeah,
nothing. Nothing, bro. Top 10 all time. You have nothing left to prove if you do that.
you think he
Nothing.
can get into that 7 to 5 category?
75. What you mean?
Like the range between like top 7 or top 5 players of all
I
time?
mean, that's hard, right? Because you look at the greatest of all time. You're looking at like Michael Jordan,
LeBron,
LeBron, Bill
Duncan,
Russell, Will Chamberlain.
Kareem.
I'm taking Curry over Duncan if he gets the chip, personally. So if I'm still
Ooh,
taking people over him, and I'm talking about people still over him right now, you can say Tim Duncan, right? You can say LeBron, you can say Michael Jordan, you can say Will Chamberlain, Bill Russell, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, Magic Johnson. Still, you can still say
Shaq.
yes, because Shaq has.
It's 2 3 rings.
Yeah, Jack had a 3-peat and then another ring. And Steph has to win this one for me to put him over him. Like
Okay.
Shaq was the most dominant player. Come on, bro. Like that's just. I didn't even know if Steph's over Larry Bird yet. You know, like I don't think he's there yet. You know, like
Not
if
there
I'm
yet.
looking at
He
like Larry
could.
Bird, I'm looking at like all these players. Like he's still not top 10 yet.
True. Okay.
But this ring in the most in the let him win a 6 ring, including this year. We're not even having a conversation about who the
People are
greatest
gonna
point
be
guard is
comparing him and
anymore.
LeBron the whole time. If he wins 6 or 5, I think people are gonna be like, "Oh, LeBron or stuff now," Because no, you know how social media is with Twitter. They're gonna start putting that narrative out, that whole debate. We're gonna see that debate every single week
I mean,
between
NBA
LeBron and
Twitter
Steph.
says every NBA player that plays bad needs to go to China every 5 seconds. So I kind of got over NBA Twitter at this point.
Yeah, yeah, fair enough.
I hate Dylan Brooks, but he don't deserve to go to China. Come on, bro. Let's not do this.
Yeah,
Amazing perimeter defender. He's great for the league. Come on,
he's in the
man.
NBA for a reason. If he wasn't, he'd be in China. I mean, I like to joke about that as well, but yeah, there's a
If
reason he's
Dylan
not
Brooks
agent
gets
in
a
the NBA.
shot, bro, people gonna see how valuable he really is. If Dylan Brooks gets a damn shot, bro, he deserved
Yeah,
to get clowned. Don't get me wrong. I was cutting his ass when
yeah,
he lost, because he deserved it. That's what you do when
absolutely.
you
He
make
talks
those
shit. Yeah,
statements. But you know, he develops a shot. He's gonna start clamping. He's a good. I'm telling you, it's gonna be rough. But
next one. Heat Knicks. Jimmy Butler with the whole 25 points, 11 rebounds, and 4 assists. But he
26
does
off a
strain his
hobbled
ankle.
ankle at the end.
Yep. How do you feel about
Yeah,
the
yeah.
series? How do you see it playing out?
Heat in four. That's like what I would imagine.
With the health,
I think if,
depending on Jimmy Butler's health, right?
if Jimmy's still healthy, if he comes in MSG, first of all, he's already mad after that ankle injury. I can tell because it was a
Yep.
flop from Josh Hart, right? That caused the injury. If he comes in, his ankle is still fine. He's coming to drop 40. He's gonna be mad as hell. Nobody likes an angry Jimmy. If he drops 40 and they win game two, the series is over. Move on.
Yep.
Just move on and just wipe your hands. The game, even if they win one of the home games, the Heat win three, they go up 3-1. They're not blowing that to the Knicks. I want the Knicks to win as a New Yorker. And people gonna be like, "Oh, you're a fake New Yorker." Like, I don't really care, bro.
No, the streaks would be wild if they win.
I real recognize real and Jimmy's him. Like, that is the person you did not want to face.
Yeah, I mean,
But
Jimmy
it is what
got
it is.
injured late in the fourth, and the Heat had a lead, and he still stayed in, like a 10, 11 point lead, and he still stayed in. That's how much he showed me that he wanted this. Like you could have went out and they would have won the
Jimmy's
game
come
still,
so
but
close so
you
many
stayed in.
times. The only person that beat
Yeah,
him in the finals was LeBron.
Ron, yeah, and he
Like,
had to carry
that's
that team.
tough.
He had to carry that man.
This
Okay,
time, I think Jimmy got to that podium. He gonna need one. He gonna need one. He's a Miami Heat legend. Retire Jimmy
he's
jersey,
probably
bro,
top
in the
five.
future.
Is he a top 5 Heat player for you?
I don't know about that.
LeBron,
It's a tough
Wade,
one.
Shaq.
Alonzo Mourning. You got
Udonis
you got a
Haslam
lot
is
of
peak
people,
for like,
bro. Udonis Haslam, like he's
but he's one of the
he's
greatest Heat
above
scorers of all time.
Udonis in terms of caliber, but in terms of like impact, Udonis is the most impact. He's Heat culture. That's why they never got rid of him. They're never gonna
Yeah,
get rid of him. If I'm that he is the Heat.
yeah.
Uh, he could be top five though, for
I
sure.
think there was a
Will he be,
stat. There's a stat saying like he has like out of like the 10 or 12 most scored games by Heat player, Jimmy had like at least 5 of them or
bro?
6.
He
Good
need to
amount.
retire his jersey if he wants that chip. I don't want to hear nothing from nobody. I don't hear no bullshit. I don't hear no. He's only been here for. I don't care. Like,
Yeah.
look what he's been doing with the team he's had, and he's
And no Tyler Hero?
and without Tyler, man, come on, bro.
Yeah. Okay. The last series we're talking about before we do some activities. Celtics Sixers. Embiid is doubtful for game 1 and 2. I don't think the Sixers get this just because of the health. I thought it'd be more competitive with Embiid healthy, but without him being healthy, it could be 5, in my opinion. I don't think. I think
Tyrese,
they need Embiid badly.
Maxey.
He's gonna have to carry. Yeah.
That's it. I think Sixers can win in 7.
Without Embiid,
Tyrese max
first 2.
contract, bro. Tyrese could drop 30, 40 at any given moment just because he's that dynamic. If he doesn't crack underneath the pressure, I mean, Marcus Smart is going to be on him, to be fair. But then who's going to be on James? Well, then again, you got Jason Tatum, you got
Probably Jalen Brown.
you guys have a good deep like defensive lineup, to be fair. But
Derek White as well.
I think the Sixers can pull it off. And if anything, I think Tobias could just be the Swiss Army knife and go off at a random moment. I don't know, but it seems like it's favorable for the Celtics, but I do think the Sixers can somehow pull it off. So
Yeah, it all depends on. He's definitely out. He's probably definitely out for game 1. But if he's out game 2, it might be over because the next 2 games will be in Boston. I
The
think
Sixers better
if
not win
they put
though,
it five,
because if the Sixers win and the
oof.
Heat win,
Oh
Jimmy's
yeah,
gonna drop
that five,
historical numbers.
even
Yo.
five. He's gonna ask the guard to buy his Harris every single matchup.
Oh, that's gonna be terrible, bro. He's just gonna just. Oh, that's gonna be
You
bad.
thought last year's series was terrible. Last year's series against the Sixers was bad. In the conference championship for a trip to go to the finals, it's gonna be even worse if that happens. Okay.
But
So,
hopefully Embiid has a
what do
speedy
you say?
recovery.
Celtics? You saying Sixers at 7? Well, with Embiid, I'm going to say with a healthy Embiid, I think it should be Sixers. Celtics at 7, but with the way the news is now, I'm going to say Celtics at 6, just because they need Embiid badly to win. Okay, and just to wrap, we got some stuff to do before we end the show. We got a little NBA higher or lower. I'm going to pull up something on the screen, and we're going to do a little competition to see who can guess which stat is going to be higher or lower. So I'm just going to pull this up real quick. Give me one moment. Hold on. Bang, bang, bang. Okay, let me know what pops up for you. Okay. So we're going to go here. So the game is there's going to be a person on the left and a person on the right. We have to guess who had the higher points per game in the NBA. So we're going to do first one to 7 points, or first one.
All right.
Let's do first one to 10. I think it might be a quick game. Okay, let me know when you see it. So I'll let you go first.
Richmond.
Richmond. 21 points per game, 12.5 points per game. There we go. There's the first one. Okay, for me, Richmond or Bridges? I'm going to go Richmond. Okay. Okay. We'll lead you up.
Michael Ray Richardson.
They end up giving us some old ass players. Okay, there's 3. Dominique. Easy. We'll go Dominique. 24.83. Okay. We'll lead next one.
Dominique.
Damn, why are they giving us this trash ass players? Oh. I'm gonna say Mecca. I hope so. Oh, we barely got that. Oh,
Jerry West.
damn. They're giving you easy ones. Of course. Why do you feel like this one's a trap? I'm gonna say Jerry West. Okay. Oh, we're on an 8-game win streak. Next one.
Oh, Connie Hawkins.
Damn. Okay. Looks like we're not gonna get one wrong. What is it? 5-4 you, I believe. I'm
Yeah.
gonna go Mikhail. Okay. 5-5. Go ahead.
Mikhail.
Yeah, they said we're not gonna make this easy. Damn. 7.3. Go James Edwards. Okay. 6-6.
Will Chamberlain.
Really? Well, this is a damn. Good Lord. Why do I think they're both average 30, but I think Iverson might be a little lower. Was it 7-6 U, right?
Yeah.
I'm gonna go AI.
You're wilding.
Fuck.
You're wilding.
I thought it was gonna be like
Will Chamberlain has one of
30.1.
the highest. He has one of the
Yeah,
highest ever.
fair enough. So it's 7-6 U. We'll restart the board real quick. I thought it was gonna be like 30.8 for AI or something like that, just because that 1 year.
I don't think anybody in the league still averages 30 points per game all time.
Yeah. So
I think LeBron's probably like 28, 27. Curry's probably like 26, 27.
lots of pain.
AD's probably somewhere up there too.
Okay, they're starting it off. Oh, damn.
Are we doing another one?
Yep. Oh, it's the first of 10, so it's 7-6 you.
Hmm. I thought you said first to seven. I'll take
Oh, yeah, wait.
Wolf
Oh, wait,
Rush.
yeah. So you won then. Okay. Well, okay. 8-6, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Let me go. Well, why do you feel, why is the name look familiar? Like 2K. Let's go, Joe. Oh, let's go. Okay, 8-7. Okay. Okay. Glenn Robinson or Joe Barry Carroll?
Glenn, baby. Might be wrong with Glenn, but
Nope, you were not. 9-7. What was Connie Hawkins? I'm gonna go Glenn. Okay. Well, 9-8 to secure.
have legend for the
Hondo.
win.
Yep, for the win. Well, GG's. You won that one. Well, damn. First episode back, I already got an L. Tremendous. Well, okay, that's the segment right there, higher or lower. We're going to try that with, obviously, the other hosts, Elijah and John, down the road. So it's a nice little test subject, see how it works. So the next one, this one's been a very popular segment on our show recently, where me, Elijah, and John did a draft. You have to build a starting lineup of teammates of a certain player. And with you on, we already did Russell Westbrook. I think we're saving Russell Westbrook. But for this edition, I want to do the Kevin Durant edition. So we're going to build a starting five without Kevin Durant of Kevin Durant teammates. So 1 through 5 players that played with Kevin Durant. I'll let you get the first pick since you are the guest.
Curry. Thank you very much.
Well, okay. Well, I'll go Russ then. I'll go Russ to start it off.
Thompson.
Mm, oh, no, give me Kyrie.
Gonna give me probably give me. I'm trying to
Ooh,
think of
that's tough.
everybody he played with.
Yep, just NBA. It's tough.
There's something I'm not. There's something I'm not thinking of.
Oh,
But I'm gonna take Andrew Wiggins personally.
gotcha. For me, I'm gonna go James Harden. That's the name that slipped my mind. I'll take James Harden off the board.
With Russ? Okay. Good luck.
Chemistry.
Um,
Houston days.
I wouldn't call that. You know, that team not going for.
Russ Harden and Kyrie. Oof.
That's a terrible for. Y'all just gonna get bullied.
Oof.
I'm gonna go Draymond.
Damn.
I'm gonna just build the Warriors because that's all I gotta do. Like,
Pretty much. And everyone's in. Okay. Do I want to go? You know what? Everyone's in their prime when we get drafted. Do I want to go? You know what? I'll go LaMarcus Aldridge. I'll go prime LaMarcus Aldridge at the 4. Says the does
oh, they're
Nets.
in their
Yeah, they.
primes. I didn't even know that.
Yeah.
Um, I want probably not. If I knew that, I would have picked Blake maybe, but
Yeah, I was
I'll just
debating
take
between
Serge
him or
Ibaka,
Blake.
man.
Damn.
Serge Ibaka.
Okay. And to round out my starting 5, you know what? Give me Nick Claxton. I think he's doing well enough to be drafted. Who got the 5 for
Just
you?
five.
I thought you had
Yeah,
one
that's a
more.
five.
Oh
No,
yeah, right. Yeah. Damn. Well, I'm pretty sure yours is more fit, and they actually have chemistry with playing each other. Pretty sure you won that one. You basically got the Warriors. Okay.
yeah. If it's prime, that's all defenders besides Curry.
Damn. Yeah. I think mine is a good offense. Just the defense might be lacking. Ugh. Okay, so to wrap up the show, we know how much you're a fan of anime. So I got a list of NBA players, and you would tell me what is the best anime comparison: main character, side character, whatever first one that pops in your head. So the first one, we're gonna go with LeBron James. Who does he remind you of?
Um, I think Vegeta. Not clear cut like greatest of all time, but in the run-ins and always works hard and has a villain arc. So
In the forehead.
a villain and redemption arc. So honestly, his redemption arc was obviously in Cleveland. His villain arc was in Miami Heat, and it fits pretty well. So, and they both have no hairline.
Yeah, oof. Steph Curry.
Um,
Flamethrower Steph Curry. Oof.
you could probably say there's a lot of things they could say for Steph. Um, I don't know. Like, I'm trying to think of like I don't watch a lot of shooting anime like to come off the top of my head. So I'm just gonna say
Maybe off personality wise.
I'm gonna just say I mean personality wise probably Goku, but I'm just being basic right now. Um yeah, that's what I'm gonna go with.
Fair enough. Giannis. Antetokounmpo.
This is a big ass beast. Baki. A big
Gotcha.
ass beast. That just be fucking people.
Okay. Russell Westbrook.
Um a lot of people like to call him. I probably on the top of my head, the person that comes to my mind is somebody named Renji from Bleach. But you probably don't know who that is. Like but then he takes a lot of L's, so that kind of sucks. But just personality wise, they just share a lot and like how they
Gotcha.
scream and how hard they go and stuff.
But Kevin Durant.
The Slim Reaper, man. Um, I probably say Zoro in One Piece. Like that man, he could be the number one at any point. Like he reminds me of like when he was next to Luffy, next to Curry, where like Curry was obviously like the number one at the time, but that's like at any point, he could just take over and just nobody can stop him.
Gotcha.
So,
Okay. The last two, and we get the last question. Luka Doncic. Luka Luka.
um, I think I'm trying to think of like animes that everybody watches, but I'm always in the loop. I don't know, in all honesty.
Okay.
Never thought about it.
Um, how about Jokic?
Uh, I'm actually a Queen from One Piece. Another person I don't know. Just
Okay.
he out of shape. He looks out of shape, but he just knows how to dominate regardless. People put respect on his
Gotcha.
name.
Okay. And the last one. If you had to, if you had to compare any NBA player to Luffy, who would it be?
Probably Curry. I mean, I didn't pick him earlier, but now I think about it, it's just when you think about who everybody looks up to, that's like childish as hell. It's definitely Curry. If you look at his NBA commercials or how he acts, when he's
Especially
not
around his wife.
on the
He,
court.
act, he
Yeah,
acts up
so
around his wife.
yeah, that's what I'd pick.
Okay. Perfect. Man, we're at the end of the show. Hey, it's been a great hour. Obviously, I didn't want to make it too long because we both have busy schedules, but I'd like to thank you for coming on. I know you've been hella busy with everything, social media, TikTok, etc., music. So I just want to thank you for coming on.
Of course, my brother. Now I can finally
Yep.
go to my mom who kept bothering me during the video. So,
Yep. Any last words before I head out?
not as of right now, actually, no, I got any.
Okay. For me, hey, hey, we're on the grind. We're past 100 subscribers. We're looking to get more. Not not 100 of those subscribers or where we're at now wouldn't be where we're at now with or without Mr. Walid. So he obviously he deserves a lot of props for helping out Ball Central the best way he can. So shout out to him. So just a reminder, audio and all stuff will be on YouTube and all the things down below. Right now we upload weekly. We don't have a certain date just because everyone's schedule. So we do the best we can. So make sure to check out the gaming channel as well. A lot of WWE sports games are being uploaded on there. So with that being said, for myself and Mr. Walid, we will see you next week on Ball